This is the BMW i4, an all-electric performance beast, and a glimpse into BMW's future. Sharp aggressive lines, big front grille, BMW badges everywhere. This car is definitely BMW. However, if you take a look at the back, you'll notice something missing. Gone are the huge exhaust pipes that enthusiasts love so much, and instead replacing them is a diffuser. In showcasing this amazing car, we're gonna be answering the question of what is the future of BMW? Make sure you like, you subscribe, but most of all, enjoy the video. My name is Ethan and welcome to Car Creations. We'd like to thank BMW Grand River for having us, and if you happen to be in the area, come take a look. They have a huge selection of BMWs and Minis. 3 or 4 years ago, I bought the JCW that you guys have seen on the channel and that kind of made the channel, and I bought it right in there. So if in the area, hop on by and take a look. All right, let's take a look at the car itself. So it shares a lot with the BMW 4 Grand Coupe. If we take a look at it from the side, you kind of have this Grand Coupe roofline that kind of slopes down quite quickly, but there's also a ton of stuff that differs. So what they did, they took the BMW Grand Coupe, they took out all the petrol underpinnings, and they replaced it with the brand new BMW 5th generation electric platform. So first of all, right off, the grille. You might recognize this grille on a lot of the new BMW 4 Series and 3 Series, but this time they blanked out all the plastic vents. Instead, they just put this hard plastic to make it more aerodynamic. As well as on the sides over here, they replaced that with black plastic also. The only piece on this car that does have a grille right under here for the radiator, and then these grills right here which add aerodynamics to cool the brakes and to go around the tires. On the back, the badge has a blue ring around it and you have the i4 decals. Biggest change happens back here with the diffuser. Gone are the big exhaust pipe that used to grumble and pop, and instead it's replaced by this plastic diffuser. The interior is a bit different with a big, huge touchscreen with iDrive 8 installed, so you can get both CarPlay and Android Auto on this huge screen here, as well as all these little blue highlights, kind of like you had on the outside, but around the car too, with the power button on the shifter, on the center steering wheel, etc. So the same electric motors as well as battery system as you get in the new iX, you'll find in the BMW i4. These seats feel so comfortable. Wow, I love them. That's one thing I loved about my brother Joshua's BMW, is the seats were just glorious, and same with these. I could spend hours in them. Which, talking about hours, let's get this car on the road and let's talk numbers. Turn it on. Oh, listen to that sound. It sounds so good. Now, first off, this car is so smooth. When you go and put it into sport mode, right away you can tell the bumps are a lot more solid, but it's still pretty good. And when it comes to wind noise and stuff, it's pretty excellent, like a electric car should be. Especially in sport mode, steering is so tight and responsive. You can just turn right into these corners. And then when you're ready to come out of a corner, you step into it, and acceleration's amazing! Yes, this car is so cool. I have driven an electric car before, so I do know about the torque and how it makes you feel. I reviewed an electric Mini. If you're interested, click the pop-up banner right here. This car is completely in a different league, and I really hope Mini takes the electric motors from these cars and put it into their cars, because that would be a really fun car. All right, so let's just get back out of sport into comfort, and let's talk about the car itself. So this car is an eDrive 40, so it's not the highest spec in the brand. The highest one is the M50. This car costs around $40,000 US. Its rear electric motor has 330 horsepower. Its 0 to 60 time is 5.5 seconds, while getting the advertised range of 300 miles, which is pretty good. Unfortunately, we don't have the ability to test that, but regardless, it should be somewhere around there. And then if you feel like spending $25,000 or more on top of that price, you can get the M50 model, which has dual motors, and that car produces 520 horsepower. And that car does 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds, which is insane. However, because of that, it doesn't get as much range. You're looking at around 270 miles of range, depending actually on what size wheels you have. And I'd say while that faster version is available, this car is still amazing. I would seriously consider this car if you could. So you find us here at an electric charging spot, which we managed to find and back in, and we're just gonna see what it's like to quickly plug it in. So if we just move these aside, this pops open there, and then we should be able to go and put the wire into it. There we go, and that's how you charge this car. Sign onto the website, and then all you have to do is you get this little card, you tap it there, and you're paying for charging. let's talk about the BMW 5th generation electric system. The 5th generation motor for this car was actually developed for the iX and a bunch of new BMW and Mini electric models. And a cool thing about this car is that it actually doesn't have any rare earth metals. So none of the bad for the environment mining or sketchy mining procedures they might have in China. Instead, BMW developed an AC synchronous motor utilizing brushes and I think you pronounce it commutator to power its electric platform. They developed some modern materials for this design and some high-tech technology in order to stop dust from getting into it and basically improve the longevity of the motor. Because one of the issues with these brushless motors is that they actually produce a lot of dust. So BMW has tried to get around that by producing materials that don't get dust, as well as materials that won't even let the dust in. According to BMW, this motor has higher energy density, it has better heat management, and it has actually better performance. So it's really a win-win for everyone. All right, so let's try this electric motor. Go. Oh my goodness, they knew what they were doing, I can say that much. My JCW was around 6 seconds 0 to 60. And this car is 5.5, but feels way faster than that. There is a tiny bit of body roll, I would say, and it's because it's a very heavy car. And the battery pack underneath makes use of the transmission tunnel as well as the bits where you used to put equipment underneath the car. But because of the steering wheel and the way that it turns in, you can't really go around for this price. Go pick up my cameraman before we leave him alone. Thankfully, it's a nice hot day. So let's take a look at these camera controls. So first of all, look at this. You can completely see the car here. You can have a complete 360 view from the top. Then you can kind of come around the car here and you can get views from either side of the car. And you can actually either use the iDrive controller or you can just click there. And so you can go to the front, so you can kind of see down low where it goes. And you can go to the back, you can see the rear view camera. There's so much you can do there. So you can move the camera all the way around like this. So you can see exactly where your car is if you're trying to get into a tight spot. And then you have car wash. You can kind of go to the front and you can kind of see where your wheels are pointing. So you know that you're not going to run over some nasty sharp piece in the ground. And this is the home page. So basically it consists of these widgets. They show the information about the car and you can link them basically to any app that BMW has installed. And you can actually move them around too. So if I go move my BMW, now we have the map and the BMW right beside each other. The map system is quite nice. It's huge, and then you can change to put the map on in front of you here, or you can do anything. Obviously there's a ton of features here and we can't go over everything. If you go to menu and you click menu, you have all your apps, and there are tons of apps. Climate controls are now integrated into the screen. Nice thing is that you pretty much always see them there. However, if you want to do something more, you have to click climate menu and then start changing what you want to do with the climate. And they still kept a lot of the tactile buttons. So you have the hazard light, you have skip ahead, skip back, you have the volume control, and then you also have the defrost for the front and rear. The rear seats also has climate control buttons as well, which is super helpful. This infotainment is a huge improvement over the last generation of BMWs. The touchscreen is super responsive. It kind of reminds me a bit of the Tesla one, but it works just like a smartphone. Finally modern, it's caught up with the rest of the cars, and I'd say that it's actually probably jumped ahead as well. I hope BMW would put this into the rest of their line because it's really cool. One of the things I love about this car is its amazing heads-up display. You basically never have to look down. Like, you can control everything through it. When you change the volume, when you change directions, it tells you your speed up there. You never have to look down. So I would say that BMW is at a crossroads. They are at a spot where end is the era of loud popping exhausts, racing down the streets, as well as keeping driving at the foremost, where all you get is the excitement of hearing the sound of the engine. We have now reached an era where you simply can't have all that together anymore. And BMW has to adapt to technology as well as electrification, else they would just simply fizzle out. With this car, BMW has shown that they could take fossil fuel car, take out all of that equipment, put in their electrification technology, and kind of bridge both worlds. And while the car is not perfect, I think it does its job pretty well. And I, as someone that loved the last era so much and will continue to hold on to it as hard as possible, if I got an electric car, it'd probably be something exactly like this, the BMW i4 or the electric Mini. Cars that are driver focused, but at the same time, have all the technology from the new era, as well as the direction that the whole entire world is going with electrification. So, how much charge would you for that entire filming session for 2.5 hours? Well, battery was nearly full when we left. It was about 95. We're only down to 72%. So I'd say that's pretty good. Once again, I want to thank BMW Grand River for the hospitality and letting us take out this car and use it for a couple hours. Really appreciated. And if anyone's in Ontario, come take a look at their dealership. There's tons of cars here. As well as, I'll include a link to their Instagram right here. And go to their page and take a look at the mini Instagram page as well as the BMW one. And they have a ton of really cool pictures on there. That's all that we have for today. Please make sure that you like, that you subscribe, leave any comments below, and I will try to answer them as soon as possible. But most of all, please have an amazing rest of your day.